City Jazz Sessions is about great music, arts, and entertainment. We are located in St. Louis, Missouri, and available to performance art lovers worldwide. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. You can email us at cityjazzsessions@gmail.com.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Warren Harper, City Jazz Sessions Live. Today we have a AM edition, a special broadcast with Ron and Lucia Jackson. My co-host Leon Davis is with us, and we're going to be talking about Ron's upcoming tour, and he's also making an appearance in St. Louis. So let's hear what they have to say. This is Ron's second time on. I have Lucia's CD, never got to meet her, so this is a pleasure seeing her live. We're going to let Ron start off and tell us what's coming up, Ron.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? My new album, Standards Are My Songs, is about to be released on February 25th. At the Django, New York, here in New York City. And so I've been ramping up for that. And I'm about to go on tour on and off for about a month. And fortunately, for the first week of the tour, I was able to secure a grant, awarded a grant by Jazz Road through South Arts for 6 of my performances the first week. And one of the performances is in St. Louis at the Blue Strawberry. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I'll be starting out in Ohio. The tour starts on March 5th and basically ends on April 3rd in Berkeley, California, where I'm doing a workshop at the California Jazz Conservatory. So there's a lot of things going on. It's been a little crazy with organizing this whole tour. It's a lot involved, flying a band around and, booking them in hotels, and, every venue has different black line requirements. It's really involved. People don't realize how much is involved with the tour, but and also releasing my album has taken a lot of time as well. I have a lot of interviews like with you in the following week, and all the magazine articles and reviews are coming out now. So, and it's been been well received, the album so far. So that's what's going on so far. All I've been doing is that mainly, in doing my teaching and performing when I have some gigs here in town.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your music and the guitars you play and your playing style. I understand you play special guitars.
Yeah, I play. So this album is, on the album it says right here, we're really featuring. This is my second album using the 7-string jazz guitar. So it's basically it's like a 6-string guitar, but with a low note on the bottom, like this. So it's like a bass note, and it's a special instrument. It's not used much in jazz, in the jazz I play, which is more like straight ahead, bebop, modern kind of jazz. But it's used a lot in actually progressive rock and rock music. They even have 8-string guitars. I actually picked up an 8-string guitar a couple months ago. Haven't learned how to play it yet, but so. On the album, I really feature that 7-string. It's a jazz trio with guitar, bass, and drums. And on the album itself, I have a lot of some jazz arrangements of jazz standards, but also pop tunes like the song "Brandy," "You're a Fine Girl" by John Laurie and Looking Glass, and Quincy Jones's "Secret Garden." And then I have some originals on this album too. That are in different styles like calypso and straight ahead, postmodern bebop, and different styles like that. So this is a specialized instrument. So I'm really a big advocate in promoting this instrument, especially in jazz, where there's only like a handful of us that play the 7-string guitar in jazz.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us about your group you're performing with.
When I come to St. Louis.
Yeah. Who you bringing?
Yeah, it's going to be actually a Hammond organ trio. Wow. So it's going to be with Hammond organ, drums, and 7-string guitar. So it's going to be Kyle Kohler. He's actually on one of my albums called Flubby W. He played Hammond organ on that record. That Melvin Sparks, the great my mentor and great guitar player, passed away. He passed away in 2011. He produced that album, and there'll be a drummer named Corey Rawls on drums.
Okay, great.
Yeah, who played on Lucia's record actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it'll be just a trio, and we're traveling light, and that's the group I'm taking with me. So we'll be doing all the cuts on my album, plus a few cuts off my Flubby Dubby Hammond Organ Trio album, which is kind of like a funky James Brown, neo, not neo soul, but kind of like they call it like soul jazz trio that I have. We'll be throwing those kind of tunes in. It'll be fun.
Sounds good. Now, that date at the Blue Strawberry was it March
March 10th.
10th? Okay.
Yeah, March 10th at the Blue Strawberry, and it'll be special guest Katie Mcgrath on vocals, and she'll be sitting in with us on a few tunes each set. And I'm looking forward to everybody in St. Louis coming out.
Now, where's Katie from?
She's actually, I think she's from St. Louis, but she was living in New York until the pandemic hit. And I think her boyfriend is a singer named Chet White. Do you know him?
No, I looked her profile up and I saw this guy, but couldn't remember his name. We'll have to look more into that. But how did I meet her? Take place? How did you meet her?
Oh, well, actually, it's funny. I was in California with my wife for her birthday, like in San Diego, and there's a guitarist that I know who used to live in New York before the pandemic. Everything before the pandemic. We call it BC, before COVID. So he was living in New York, and then I do this podcast that that's it's not a podcast. It's like a Instagram live TV show that actually Lucia and I were on one time. Through music on the inside, which is run by a person named Alina Bloomgard, who started jazz at Lincoln Center years ago. So this guitar player, lives in San Diego. He went over there, and we went to hang out to see some jazz. And he gave me her name. He said, "You go to the Midwest? I know her. She does house concerts in her house, her apartment. And she might know about contacts about playing there." Mm-hmm. So that's how I met her. I got recommended by a friend named Richard Miller, and a guitar player, and he gave me some contacts in DC and in the Midwest, and so she hooked me up with Jim Dolan at Blue Strawberry, and and I wanted her to be a special guest, for to sing with us. So a couple of the venues on the tour, like when I play in Holland, Michigan, there's like an opening act there, and I think that's it. Yeah, so two of the shows there's an opening person, a guest or an opening act. Yeah.
So she's going to be on how much of the tour?
She's just going to be in St. Louis with us.
Just in St. Louis, okay.
Yeah, she's just a special guest in St. Louis.
Just in St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay, Leon, before we bring Lucia on, did you have any questions for Ron?
Oh, well, I mean, so first, I mean, you've talked about the COVID challenge. I don't remember the last time when you were on, was that before COVID, or that was during the early?
It was during COVID.
It was the early part of COVID. So
DC during COVID.
Yeah. So
DC and DC.
So have the challenges changed?
Post DC.
So what were you saying?
So have the challenges changed?
Oh yeah, I mean it's still challenging. I mean, well, in January, I think I told Warren this, like when the Omicron, I called the oh my god surge. The Omicron came out. I mean, I had like 2 or 3 weeks of work canceled just like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had teaching and I had like shows. They were all canceled for like the first 3 weeks of January. So that was a real drag. I was like hoping, to start making some money again and, doing some gigs, and suddenly, so hopefully now, I can, get back to just playing. And,
so have you changed?
Steady work.
Yeah. Have you changed? Have you changed the way that you do concerts now because of COVID? Have there been changes in your life?
I mean, particularly I was doing a lot of stuff online.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. Like, I mean, I developed a lot of followers online, but I haven't been able to work on that too much really recently because I'm starting to go play live, and I'm trying to deal with getting people to come out to see me play now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's taking a lot of time, so I haven't been as active online going live. But I used to have an Instagram show every Sunday, and then I used to go live every couple of days on YouTube, and that kind of stuff. But I haven't been doing that like at all as much as I'd like to at all
Mm-hmm.
because I'm just starting to get busier with trying to get people to see me go perform live and promote my album, etc. So it's been it's a lot of work to do this stuff.
So I was thinking, like,
Mhm.
like when you go do your concerts, do you put more room between you and the audience? Do
I
you
try to, yeah.
like carry hand sanitizer where you didn't carry it before? Are you?
Of course,
Yeah.
I double mask. I mean, I actually, I'm working in schools, and and Lucia actually does this too. She
Mm-hmm.
teaches dance, so I double mask when I go out to these schools. I mean, on Fridays, I actually deal with about 100 kids in New York City public schools that I see, and I'm touching their instruments, and so I have 2 masks on,
Mm-hmm.
hand sanitizer,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear like a couple of weeks ago, one of the kids in one of my classes, one of those classes had tested positive for COVID, and the protocol in New York is nothing. You just go back to class and teach. So it's like,
Wow.
So yeah, that
so
didn't.
I've been okay. I mean, I'm triple vaccinated and I'm really careful, but you just never know. So maybe I've caught it one time, and some people catch it and never have very minimal symptoms, like So yeah, that's what I had to deal with. So yes, I've changed. But when I perform live, usually like I performed live like last Saturday with Daryl Green and Camille Thurman at this place that used to be called Fat Cat. Now it's called Cellar Dog. It's like a pretty big club in New York. You know, there were hundreds of people in that place, and on stage, we separated, by like about 10, maybe 15 feet. But we didn't play with masks on. We were on stage. We
Sure.
were, but we were behind. Then when I got off stage, I put my mask on. You know, but most of the people in the venue in New York, I think they dropped the mask mandate actually
Yeah, I
now.
just heard that.
Yeah, so nobody was wearing a mask in that place, and it was downstairs in the basement, and it's a pretty big space. I mean, I'm sure they have, they're required to have air filters and all that stuff, but I feel okay so far today. That
Excellent.
was Saturday.
That's good. Okay, well let's bring Lucia on and find out a little bit about her career and how things were going with her.
Hello, everyone. I'm Lucia. I am Ron's daughter, and I'm also a jazz singer and dancer. As far as music, I released my album in 2018. It was my debut album, my only album. So that was before COVID. And I got the chance to perform it at the Sink Bar and at the Lewiston Jazz Festival. And I remember I had this big, big performance planned for the Gruning Art Center in New Jersey in March of 2020. And, we got that email that everybody got back then about postponing the show.
Right.
Let's postpone the show maybe for next month. And then it never happened, right? But that was one of the biggest shows I was planning because I was mixing the jazz music and the dancing that it was my main career.
Okay.
So I was trying to involve both of them on this big stage that I had, and I had all these plans, and it's there. I just haven't gotten to it yet because I became a mom again. So now it's a mom of 2, and it's been hard during COVID. So I focused on my dance teaching, which is my main work line right now. And I'm very excited to sing at my dad's release on the 25th at the Django because it will be my first live performance gig
All right.
since a while because we've been doing like some Instagram, Queens Public Library online a couple times. But for me, because I haven't gotten back to it fully yet, it will be my first time with a live audience. So I'm very, very thrilled.
That sounds good. That sounds great.
So-
So be sure to send us some info on that concert too, Ron. That live.
I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to all my tour performances. There's
Sure.
one link where you can see all of them. Yeah. Or my
Now-
website.
How big of an influence do you feel that you were on your daughter?
I mean, as far as music, I think a big influence. I mean, but she was like she was also influenced by dance, so she decided to do dance. She studied
Mhm.
at Alvin Ailey.
Oh,
And you
great.
went to you tell them about your dance because I mean, you studied in Madrid.
Yes, yes. So I grew up in Spain with my mom, and I used to come here every summer to visit my dad. And I remember always going to his gigs, so I always loved music. But I had been dancing since I was 10, and that's what I was doing mostly. And I knew I wanted to study dance career. And
Mhm.
so I got into the Albinelli school. I did my 4 years there, and after that, I still did music throughout the years, but always on the side a little bit. And after I was done, I danced with the company for a couple years, and then I wanted to do my own album, my own music,
Mm.
and of course with my dad. And so yes, he is a big influence since I was little, going on to all his gigs, and sometimes singing with him as a kid.
Yeah, yeah. So do you feel like it could be something like in the genes? Because a lot of families have a lot of people doing the same thing, like arts or maybe different professions. What do you
Right.
think?
I'm not sure if it goes that like genes, but definitely seems because you were born listening to it and rhythm and music, you definitely develop those senses
Hmm.
much more than somebody that they grows up in a lawyer family. Then they grow up also listening to that, and so it's, I guess, like my daughters are listening and seeing dance almost every day, and so
Right,
it's normal
right.
for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't remember you telling us the title of your album. Did I miss
My
that?
album,
Yeah.
You and the Night and the Music.
One more time for me.
You and the Night and the Music,
Ah, You,
like
the
the
Night,
standard,
and the
and I have
Music.
one song.
So now, is it heavily influenced in Latin, in the Latin American
Oh,
culture?
well, no, it's mostly jazz.
Okay.
But I do have one original song that is flamenco inspired, and I have a version of a Latin song here. And couple songs that are not jazz, but it's mostly jazz because I love it. And I do love all types of music, so I was trying to put a little bit of here and there,
So how many songs are
and
on your
easier
album?
for dancing too. Sorry, what?
How many songs are on your album?
10.
Oh, you were quite busy.
Well, now I'm looking at the one that you sent me, and it looks like actually 13, maybe.
Oh, oh my gosh, really? So then I forgot. This
Yeah,
is my
yeah.
mom brain.
You got 13 on here.
So even more than I thought.
Uh-huh.
So
So, and a lot of them are standards, like I said, but then
Right.
Leon's not really into jazz like I am. So, you know,
I'm not
I'm
into the
working on
same
them.
version of jazz. I listen to more pop jazz.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right.
You mean smooth jazz? They call
Smooth jazz, pop.
it.
I don't mean it as an insult. It's just that,
No, I know.
for a lot of years it was called pop jazz, and then, smooth jazz is more, I don't know, more soothing to the ear than pop jazz. But,
Right, right, right.
but Bob James,
We won't get
Earl
into that whole
Clue, those guys.
It's funny too. On my new album, I mean, I took like a Quincy Jones tune, "Secret Garden," and made it into a pop, smoothie, jazzy jazz tune. So you might be into that, Leon.
Yeah,
Which one you talking about there?
"Secret Garden"
Oh, okay, okay.
by Quincy Jones. You know, the one that had DeBarge
Yeah, oh yeah,
and
yeah.
Barry White. That's one of my favorite tunes from Quincy Jones.
Now when I
I'll be
told
sure.
Leon about the CD, I played part of Brandy for him. I think he kind of liked that. What did you think, Leon?
yeah, Brandy was good. But that's
kind
an
of
old
pop.
favorite. I mean, how do you not like, something that you've, heard a lot about in different versions of? It's just usually getting used to some of the changes that the artists make, some of the original themselves that they add to the music, which makes it, interesting to hear different
It's
versions.
funny. um, I have a mailing list for my fans, and then I didn't know this guy was on here, but the musical director for John Laurie and Looking Glass heard my version and he loved it. And he sent it to John Laurie, the guy who wrote that song.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So I asked him to get a quote from John Laurie to see, to see what
Yeah.
he thought of it. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
get a quote from him. I hope soon.
Awesome.
Oh,
I
that'd
can
be
post
great.
it.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. You know, listening to the way you played that, it kind of reminded me of guys like what Melvin Sparks or whatever, the style.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was very influenced by him.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's been
and
a while, but I listened to some of him back in the day.
oh, did you ever see him perform?
No, never saw him. I just on the CDs
No,
basically.
he done a lot. See, he was my mentor, one of my mentors.
Hmm.
I studied with him when I first moved to New York, and then he produced that album. He was trying to always get me a record deal.
No.
Really a great guy. I mean, he passed away by heart attack, unfortunately.
Oh wow, yeah,
2011. Suddenly, it was sad, but really
yeah,
great guy, great guitar player. I mean, master guitar player. You know.
yeah. We lost a great artist in St. Louis a couple months ago, or a few weeks actually. Montez Coleman, the
Oh
legendary
yeah.
singer.
What happened to
Yeah,
him? I
shout
was
out
like
to him.
surprised.
I think it was a heart issue. I'm not
Oh
100%, but they said something about his heart.
yeah, he was from St. Louis. I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. I
Wow.
listened to him a lot live because I'd always go to the Kransberg and he had a standing gig there for a while. Him, Bob DeBoo, and Adam Manis, those guys.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, yeah, that was like big news on Instagram and stuff, and
yeah.
Facebook. Great.
And I think he actually may have lived in New York for a minute.
Yeah, no, he did. I mean,
Hmm.
I heard about him. I never saw him perform or met him, but
Yeah.
I knew about him. You know.
There's something about St. Louis to New York. A lot of our artists end up in New York. I mean, that's a fact. You know, Ronnie Barrage, one of our hosts, is up there now. You know him, and so many guys end up going there.
Yeah, one of the guys that I knew that I told you is a famous. Well, his son's really famous now. He was born in St. Louis. Was the father of Akon. you know,
Oh, okay.
you know, he was a percussionist I used to work with named Morcham before Akon became a famous rapper. I mean, I
Oh,
remember his father telling me he was rapping, and I remember later on they moved to Atlanta, and now
mhm.
after, I hear Akon on the radio all the time. I'm like, oh my God, is that him? So
Yeah.
he was born in St. Louis, but his father's from Senegal.
Right, right. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize Akon was from here.
Yeah.
So, Lucia,
So yeah,
tell me a little bit about some of the challenges you, as a new mother, as a repeat mother, had in making this album.
Well, actually, so when I recorded it was in 2017. I was not pregnant yet with my firstborn. And then I became pregnant, and throughout that year, we were producing it, doing all the liner works and photography, all of this, all of that, and then we released it in September, and I had the baby in July. So 2 months after, she was at the gig at the Sink Bar at the release party, and so the first, it was quite easy. I tried to keep my regular artist life, dancing and teaching and singing. I sang at the Hillstone every Sunday. I used to go into the city because I live in Connecticut now. So I was, managing. And then COVID hit, so I kind of paused, and then I had my second one. So now it's definitely different. We do not easy to move around as much.
Yeah.
Mm.
But focusing on other things, more online work.
Hmm.
YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel for my first daughter, which I'm taking back again, Lia Patatina, and we also made some original tunes for it, me and my dad, over the COVID. So that's been going on. It's definitely been a change, but all good, all good.
So that was my next question. So you and your dad working together, have you guys produced any new stuff, or what is it like working with your dad? And I'm going to ask that in front of him, so I'm going to put you on the spot there.
He's terrible.
So the newest things have been for my daughter's YouTube channel, a couple of like educational kids songs, and they are still kind of jazz based, or Latin here and there too. But that was also before my second born, so we did more stuff then. I'm trying to get it back. She's just 6 months, so we're trying to get adjusted to a new baby again.
Right.
But hopefully it keeps going. Music. Good thing about music is you can do it all your life.
Yeah, so she has this really nice YouTube channel. You have quite my granddaughter Leah. How many subscribers do you have on YouTube now?
Well, not that many. She's like 260, but she's got
That's pretty good, actually.
quite
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good
not
views
bad.
on some
260.
videos. Yeah, and she's got some thousand views on like one of the songs that we made, which is the number song, and we're singing through the numbers in English and Spanish, and it's like a little jazz based. And that one got like 16,000 views. So and the TikTok users have used some of our, like the baking song they have used, which is kind of like a samba, and they use the number song, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's got to be pretty exciting when somebody believes in your work enough to put it behind their productions, which I think that's got to be great.
Yeah.
So what is your plans on any more albums?
So far, no, I don't have. Well, I mean, we have released the Lia Patatina songs as our, a single.
Yeah, that's on iTunes and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all out there too.
Yeah, it's all out there. It's all out there released right now. I mean, they're not like physical releases though.
Right.
They're not.
Right.
They're all digital. So
Right,
Apple, Apple, iTunes, Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify. You can find that. It's actually under our names, Ron Jackson and Lucia Jackson. You can find those.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and we released that in 2020 and even 2021. No, I don't know if we did release last year. Did we?
I think one of the songs, yeah, some 2020 and a couple in 2021. Yeah.
You can find those right now, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Ron, we know you have a time limitation, but Lucia, I would like to ask you this: if sometime in the future you can come back, I would love for you to meet our female co-host, Leica. I tried to connect you guys at this point, but things just didn't work out. But we kind of like to have a little more female energy on the show, so I think you would be perfect to having a chat with her, because she seems to bring out that energy with another female that us guys can't do.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah,
Yes, keep me posted.
for sure.
But I did have one more
Ron,
question for you,
wanna say
Ron.
something?
I did have one more question for you, Ron. What's the difference? Because you had mentioned that you were learning the 8 string. What's the difference in playing the 7 and the 8 string? What is the different techniques that are required?
Oh, I mean, it's funny when you pick up an 8 string. I have it over here, but I can't take it. I don't have it to show, but it's really weird. Like, it feels like the guitar is much smaller. Like the 6 string part it feels like this it's much bigger than that to me, and I can't find the first 6 strings of the guitar anymore because there's 8 of them now.
Right.
So I mean, it's something you have to get used to.
Right.
So it's a physical feel of it. It feels like I'm like on the 8 string. You're fitting basically the same width and neck with like 8 strings too. So the space between the strings are smaller too. So it feels really strange for me to play. So I miss. My fingers are actually missing the notes. Not like I'm not hitting them accurately when I'm playing. So it's really weird. I just have to practice it. That's all. Which I haven't had time to do much of any kind of practice right now because of all the business for my album and tour and all this. But that's a difference, and it's really it's really a cool instrument. And the guy that I got this guitar from, named Tosin Abasi, he's amazing. He's a Nigerian American guitar player. But really like innovative and really popular, and so you should check him out. It's progressive rock he does, but it's really complicated, and he does these techniques I'm not even used to that are
really?
unconventional on
What's his
guitar.
name again?
Tosin Abasi. He's actually a Nigerian American. He was raised in D.C. Really talented guitar player, really popular band. The band is called Animals as Leaders. And his boss is called an Abasi concept guitar. Tosin Abasi, Tosin Abasi, and this band is called Animals as Leaders. They're really popular.
Wow,
Progressive
that's
rock
an
band.
interesting title there.
Yeah, so
group.
he's Nigerian American, and his band's kind of like interracial, like multiracial. Like he has a guitarist, Javier Reyes, who's Hispanic in origin, and drummers white, Caucasian. They're really a great band. They only do trio, 2 8-string guitars and drums with tracks. They play with tracks, so they do live. They do big concerts. They do pretty big, 5,000, 10,000 seat venues and stuff.
Wow.
Sound rather unique.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's something new. I'm really intrigued by those what they call extended range instruments.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think
Yes,
I told you that we got a bass player, Al Caldwell, that plays a 9-string bass, and I can only imagine.
9-string? Wow, I never heard of that before.
Look him up, man. I don't know how he does it, but I've seen pictures of that thing. I mean, the neck is like huge.
Yeah, basses have bigger strings, but the necks are wider too.
Yeah.
In general, but 9 strings. I've seen 6-string basses.
He does it though.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so people can follow you, Ron, at
RonJacksonMusic.com.
And Lucia, they can follow you at
LuciaJackson.com. That will be the website. And then on social media, it's Lucia E. Jackson. Or also my name, Lucia Jackson, and you can find me. Yeah.
Yeah, mine is Ron Jackson Music on all social media platforms. And I'm looking forward to meet. I hope I meet you. I know I'm going to meet Warren over there, but I hope I meet to see Leon at Blue Strawberry too, with your whole family and your extended family and your relatives and people you don't know in your family.
Drag my neighbors, my neighbors' families. Yeah. I got you. I understand now.
Your dog.
That's right. Whoever can fit into a seat and buy a ticket, right?
Yeah,
I understand.
So
Ron, were you gonna bless us with a tune on your way out, or what?
Sure, I'll play a little bit. I'll just play a little bit of the song that's on my last song on my album, like it's Time After Time.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just play a little bit of that for you. Here we go.
Ron Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Well done.
Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and we look forward to having you both back.
Yes.
Thank you.
so much.
And Lucia, we're not going to let you off the hook. When you come back, we want to hear a song.
Okay. Sounds great.
Thank you, guys.
All right. We'll be in
so much.
touch. And thank
City Jazz Sessions is brought to you by St. Louis City Jazz, a 501c3 company dedicated to music education and appreciation. The CEO is Magic Man 50, and for more ways to connect with City Jazz Sessions, visit cityjazzsessions.wixsite.com/St. Louis. The City Jazz Sessions team includes host, content director, and guest coordinator, jazz great Ronnie Barrage. Follow Ronnie at ronniebarrage.biz. Host, website designer, graphic artist, content director, and guest coordinator, singing sensation Leica. Discover more about Leica at leicamusic.com. Additional production services are provided by Lions Den Productions. Go to thelionsdenstl.wixsite.com/home. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more great content.